see. Ooh, oh yeah. I mean, I'm closing the window to keep dust out, but we're going to ignore that big hole that's there. Don't you get worried about that. Okay, so today we're moving on to the much anticipated fabrication stage. We're going to start with this front inner arch. There's quite a bit to do that you would have seen on the end of the last video if you saw that. So basically we're just going to jump straight in. Let's get started. Be sure to protect those knees, guys, with your old rag or your old towel. All this is crusty. I'm currently at the hammering stage of the build where I need to literally start whacking the sheet metal to see what's solid and what's not. We're not actually too bad. I mean, if you can say that. You look there. That's all solid. There's a lot of trapped rust there, but actually it's just trapped rust and dirt. Where that bolts to the body is actually still solid. There's quite a bit, hopefully, there's quite a bit of solid steel still there, which I'm going to need because I'm no sheet metal guy. So for me to even contemplate or even half weld anything to this, I need to be given some lifelines. I think I'm going to have to grind it all back and try and expose what we've got a bit better. Sorry about the weather, guys, it is the UK. I'm going to make the templates now before I cut anything out, just in case something goes wrong. Yeah, let's make a couple of templates. Are you a sheet metal guy, fabricator, or maybe just a dreamer? Well, if you are, I have the perfect thing for you. A fabricator's template card of choice. Lucky Charms. No more do you need to worry about making shapes. Simply going to start with a straight edge. Just having fun. That's too big. So there is a cancerous bit here. I'm going to try and kind of get through that, I think. Be sure to use your pointy hammer. There is a hole here we're going to ignore because, to be honest with you, it wasn't being used before. I don't really know what it's for, and there was nothing in it. It's just a way of water getting into the footwell. We can always drill it later on if I come across, you know. I think that's pretty much. We're going to draw it onto here so you guys can see what I'm looking to achieve, and then that's what we're going to transfer to the sheet steel. I'm going to make one for here now off camera because, you know, you've just literally, you don't need to just see me drawing loads of little bits of card up. Okay then, so we're getting somewhere now. It's a dirty, messy job, this one, but it's got to be done. It's raining heavily as well, so you might hear that on the camera. So I've took all the wax oil off around here. You can see where I've gone to there with the wax oil. There's a body crease here, a stamp in there. I've just gone, I haven't gone to town. Really, I would like to take all the suspension off and have all the front end sandblasted and redo everything, but that's not how far we're going on this build. All the seam sealer and everything off that's factory. So all I'm doing now is I've Cleco, so these here, if you didn't know, these are called Clecos, and that just allows me to hold the panel up against where we're going to be working. And then I've roughly guidelined where I believe the bend, excuse me, the bend needs to happen. So I'm going to see if I can roll this over the edge of this bench. So I'm going to start with my lines. I've got a a wooden mallet. I'm just going to try and just start in that roll really, just to see where it fits up. So we're getting closer look. So there you'll see we've got a bit of shape and it tapers off up. So how are we looking here? We are not far off there. A bit on the knee. And then let's see how we're looking Cleco wise. Okay, so literally within 2 minutes we're already starting to get the shape. See that? That top piece will pull in, and then that bottom piece will just need flattening out there. So now I can spot weld, I can spot weld that onto there, as well as run all the way around. I've cleaned up all the body and the plate, and inside here has all been cleaned up. The wax oil and the cleaning up in all the gaps and things like this, seams, that's most of the time. I mean, it's took like 2 hours to clean that up. So I've got the plate in place, a couple of magnets holding it roughly flat, a couple of clamps. I think I'll start with this corner. think I'll do a bit on the spot weld one. I mean, it shouldn't warp this bit here. There's so many edges and stuff on this part. I don't think it should warp, personally. Just going to turn the fan on for a bit, and I'm going to knock this over, and I'm going to work my way around, so I'll probably put on a time lapse now for that. Remember, grinder and paint makes you the welder you ain't. It's okay. So that's where we're at. I could keep linishing it back and get rid of like any kind of high spots or, you know, the weld line, but I'm a bit worried about keep linishing because this steel's only like a mil, 1.5 tops. So really, if I'm keep linishing and linishing, you're kind of taking the thickness away. Whereas now, that's solid, that is. I can finish off and clean up in there when I get to the jet washing part of the engine bay. So inside I had this fire blanket. I do have the link to these blankets below, guys. So, and then that's inside. Bit of cleaning up to do, but to be honest, that's going to be behind. Oh, pretty happy with that. It's better than a massive hole. We'll move on. I've cut out the template we made. There's a shape to this. So all I'm going to do is just bend it on my leg for now. Just like that. Just trying to get a bit of shape started. That's all. What I think we'll do now, I think we're going to break. There's a break on this edge. So I need my template again. So that break needs to basically be that. That should be enough. That's that break. So let's go and try it. It's quite difficult one-handed, but yeah, we can see we're starting to get somewhere. That needs to curve that way and then it kicks back. So we'll put that shape in now. This is how we're looking. Got a couple of clamps on it. That break there is a couple of mil too long, but I can grind that down when it's on. I think that'll work quite well. This lip here is working quite well. So all I'll do now is same as before. I'll draw around it and then we'll look to start cutting that out. So I've just snipped this off and I've just kind of temporary cut it for now. So let's see. Oh yeah, she's crusty. Can you guys see that? Okay, so that's going to bring us to a stop for today because I've ordered some rust treatment brushable stuff. Now really I want to get all in there brushed and treated before I weld the patch on, and also some weld through primer on, which I haven't yet got. I mean, it looks worse than it is. It's still good sheet metal. It's just obviously held the moisture in there for a long time. But that's the way it goes. You never know what you're unfolding, and one job can easily turn, I'd imagine, into 2 or 3. So be sure to paint your floor. That's really smart. But I've made this new panel, which is shaped. It's got quite a bit of shape in it, but I did it all on my knee or on the bench. That's zinc primered with a weld-through primer at the back. And then inside here, which you saw, I've wire brushed it all back. I've cleaned it all up. I've put a coat of this rust prevention, kind of rust neutralizer kind of stuff on it, which kind of neutralizes all the rust, oxidizes it all, I think, and makes it go black. And then I've just put a weld-through zinc primer on the top of that. I've done 4 coats in there now. That plate's completely welded in now. Got a little bit more cleaning up to do, but generally that's the finished result. Spot welded back in there where we broke the edge here. That's all in. Spot welded along the bottom, spot welded along here, and then butt welded all the way around. It's a massive difference. So quite a few people have asked about these welding blankets on social media already, on Instagram. I bought these for this, and as you can see, they're working fantastic. I've got one covering the engine bay up, I've got one covering the screen and the top of the car, and I've got one stuffed inside the car there for any welds that was going to go through when I did the first plate. So if you are looking for one, I'll put the link to where I got them from in the description box below. And then I've zinc primed that panel. And then when we've done that bit, this bit, and then all this bit here, when that's all done, it'll all be zinc primed. I've got inside there to finish off, which will be zinc primed, seam sealed. And then inside, just to finish off where the welds have penetrated through into the cab. Then we're on to just a rattle can stone chip. Really happy with how it's gone so far. We've got a couple of plates done. There is a couple more to do, a few more to do in fact on this before we can move on. They're getting quite complicated now. I took the easier ones first to get me a bit more practice. I'm new to it. And I'm not a welder really, I'm not a sheet metal guy, but I'm just trying and learning and doing the best job I can. If you could, please drop a subscribe and a comment or a like. It's all free and it does help the channel grow, and I do massively appreciate that. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. That jack's definitely in the way there, isn't it? Okay, let's do it again. Okay, welcome back to the 3rd video. Is it the 4th? What video is it? But I really love this cereal. But unfortunately, you know, there's just not enough fibre in that in it these days for me. Safety is the most safety is my biggest concern.